a straight line, that's not really her style. They all got the same heartbeat, but hers is falling behind. Nothing in this world could ever bring them down. Yeah, they're invincible, and she's just in the background. And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids.
Welcome back to our second episode. It's the old man here, Stuart.
First one.
Sarah. This week we're going to start with Sarah this week. She's got a very controversial topic to talk about.
Okay.
Sarah.
This is a little bit old now.
Right.
About a month old, I'd say. It's been a while since we recorded.
Has been a few weeks.
So, Dad, are you aware of the Blake Lively movie that came out at the start of August called It Ends With Us?
No, I have heard of it. I haven't seen it. You and Mother went down to watch it. Not really my sort of film, but you guys went down to watch it and...
Anyway. So basically it's a movie adaptation of a book by the same name. It Ends With Us. I read the book and I watched the movie. Overall it was a...
It's your second appearance, Kat.
Oh God. She scratched my cheek.
Beautiful.
It was a movie adaptation of the book by the same name. I read the book, I watched the movie. It was an alright adaptation, but that's not what the controversy is about.
Right, okay, so what's this massive controversy?
It's not a massive controversy.
Well, you talked it up, so...
So basically, the book and the movie, if you haven't read the book or watched the movie, it's about a woman coming out, realising she's in an abusive relationship and breaking the cycle of abuse after watching her mum go through the same cycle as well.
Cheerful, happy movie.
It's a very serious movie, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
But if you watch all the marketing and the press tour about it and so you're aware of Blake Lively?
I am aware of Blake Lively, married to Ryan Reynolds, yes.
Do you know who Justin Baldoni is?
I've heard of Justin Baldoni. I think he's another actor.
He's an actor / producer, director.
Right, okay.
Type person. So Blake Lively plays the female lead in this movie.
Right.
Justin Baldoni not only is the male lead of the movie, but he's also the director of said movie.
Okay, yep.
And people started raising eyebrows towards when the movie was about to be released because, you know, as you'd imagine, big movie coming out, you do press for it.
Yep, loads of press tours, yes, they always do that.
Basically, people were getting confused because Justin was barely in any of the press tours that the rest of the cast was doing.
Right, and if he's the male lead, you'd think he'd be there with Blake doing all the stuff.
And the director and stuff.
Yeah.
And when the premiere came out, it was like the rest of the cast were taking photos together on the red carpet, and then Justin Baldoni was like the ostracized one, and he was just sort of like getting interviews and photos away from everyone.
So he was separate to everyone else?
Yeah,
right.
So everyone was really confused, like what the hell's going on and stuff. And then people started deep diving into the interviews, and there was a recurring pattern people began to pick up on.
Right.
So as I said before, the main theme of the movie is domestic violence and domestic abuse.
Right.
All of Justin Baldoni's interviews and press and all of his links on all of his social media all had to do with spreading awareness about domestic violence, charities for shelters of women who are escaping abusive homes.
Yep.
All what you would expect from a type of movie like this. Whereas Blake and the rest of the cast promotion all seemed like it was just for like a rom-com movie.
Right.
For example, Blake's character, Lily Bloom, in the movie, is also a florist. hence the name.
Nominative determinism, yes.
Lily Blossom Bloom.
Of course, it stayed up all night
'Cause
thinking this up, weren't they?
originality is Colin Hoover's best trait. Colin Hoover's the author.
Right.
She runs a florist, so Blake was wearing florals the whole time for the press tour, and that's all she would talk about. And she was also always just talking about her hair care line that she was coming out with.
Self-promotion, yes.
Yeah, but it was just that. And whenever whenever interviewers would ask her a question having to do with domestic abuse, she would just sort of shrug off the thing and not talk about that. And then whenever there were questions about not just her, the rest of the cast as well, whenever there were questions about working with Justin on the set, they would also just try and avoid the questions and stuff like that. So everyone's like, what's going on? And then people found, so I didn't know this. Obviously, you know that Deadpool Wolverine came out around the same time.
Yeah, around the same time.
Obviously, Ryan Reynolds, the star of that, Blake Lively is the star of this movie. People were then getting really confused why Ryan Reynolds was becoming involved in the press for It Ends With Us. Because what the hell does he have to do with the movie aside from being Blake's husband?
Yeah, he's not in the movie, nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah. And it came off very much like they were trying to make their own Barbieheimer.
Right, they're trying to get the two movies linked somehow.
This isn't the right movie to do that.
No.
When it's about a really serious topic.
To be fair, Oppenheimer was about a fairly serious topic, vaporising half a town.
It's one thing when the internet chooses to do it. It's another thing when the people who have the responsibility of spreading awareness to this thing decide to do it themselves. And then Ryan was doing press for the thing, and then people were finding out, because Justin Baldoni is the director, apparently Ryan was stepping in and rewriting scenes, because he somehow became a writer of the movie.
Right.
When, again, he had nothing to do with the movie until the very end of production.
But he did have something to do with the movie.
No.
Or he just imposed himself to write stuff.
So everyone's like, what's going on? Why does Ryan have a say in the movie at all? And then Blake and Ryan apparently years ago have said that they always have a foot in each other's projects.
Yeah.
Which to me doesn't make any sense because you're both in a creative field. Why would you impede on each other's creative process?
You'd let each other do their own thing, especially when they're vastly different movies.
And especially when they're both actors and they understand what both of their jobs require of each other.
Right. So, am I going to get a hint as to why he was imposing himself?
Everyone just... Then Blake started saying how she was always insecure with herself as an actress because she was never one of those actresses that could just... I'll find the interview. Say what you needed her to say in a script.
Yeah.
She couldn't basically become someone else. She always had to play herself in some capacity. And everyone's like, so you're saying you can't act? Isn't that just what being an actor?
It's sort of what you're being paid to do.
Last time I checked, that's the entire job description of being an actor. We understand you're supposed to play a character. You're not playing yourself in the movie, unless that's what the role is supposed to be. So everyone was very confused. I've got a few examples of interviewers, like I said, when Blake's just shrugging off the domestic abuse aspect of the movie and just bringing it back to her hair and stuff. This is what went viral. So everyone started making parodies online.
I was just seeing the parody there and it's quite...
Yeah, so basically the interview clip that went viral is of Blake sitting next to Colleen Hoover, who you can't see in this clip because it's on TikTok, and she just goes, grab your girlfriends, grab your florals, and have a great time, which is, it seems like you're going to see the Barbie movie or something, not a movie about domestic violence.
Yes.
So TikTok decided to make this a meme online, and started finding other famous movies.
Right.
and making the same
Do you want
sort of
royalties or something, do you, Kat?
making this,
After royalties, eh? Come on, you keep walking that way. Thank
and
you.
making the same sort of like grab your friends, grab your to like really inappropriate movies. You get the idea.
Yeah.
I saw another one that was like, he's making a list. He's checking it twice. Grab your red coats and it's time to find out if you're naughty or nice. This year, Schindler's List. Like, on the red carpet of the premiere, she's always just talking about what outfit she's wearing, which, you know, you'd expect that, but like, that was like the only focus. And then, hey guys, I've got a new hairline, look at my hair in the movie and all this stuff, and what it was like wearing flowers the whole premiere, and like barely had anything to do with domestic violence. And then what I was really confused in the movie, because in these sorts of things you'd expect there to be like a helpline.
Yeah,
some sort.
normally they have, whether it's a suicide prevention line, a helpline, a domestic violence line to talk to if you've got issues yourself, you know, any mental health issues. There's a number down the bottom, you ring it up.
Yeah, they didn't have
They
that.
didn't have any of that for this.
And then apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, this is what everyone's saying online.
Okay, we're getting down to the nitty
I
gritty
haven't
now.
done my proper research on this. Apparently,
How
there
dare
was
you.
a director's cut, which is the cut Justin wanted to use for the movie. And then there was the Reynolds cut, which
Right.
is the one that actually got shown in theatres. And I think in Justin Baldoni's cut, they did have like the helpline, and it was more focused on the domestic abuse aspect
Right.
of the movie.
But usually director's cuts do end up coming out for most movies. So well, that was a very a light-hearted look at Sarah's movie review of the week. It certainly wasn't, you know, the Minion movie or anything like that.
Now, Padre, what do you have to talk about?
Padre. I'm Padre now.
Padre.
Out of all the things she normally calls me, that's the nicest.
We're on camera, after all.
Oh, when has that stopped you? All right, we also would like to talk about the Olympics has been run and won. We're now with the Paralympics going on at the moment. The cat is about to enter again. You're getting more time on camera than anyone else at the moment, aren't you? Yeah, the Paralympics are on at the moment. We had the Olympics run and won in France. Where do I start?
Team Australia.
Team Australia. Now, Australia did very, very well. We got one of our highest medal counts ever, excluding when it's been held in Australia.
I think we broke the record for most gold medals we've won in a day.
Yes, and all credit where credit's due to the women's swimming team. In a massive medal. Normally our men's team was very, very strong, very, very powerful. Ever since I was growing up, we've always had a very strong and a lot of depth in our men's swimming. And the women have done, you know, reasonably well. We've had standouts, you know, like a Dawn Fraser or that, who's always stood out individually. But the last two Olympics, I think we've had massive input by the women. They've dominated the last Olympics that was going on, and that was all really good. And we had, but there was.
Speaking of the women in Team Australia.
Well, yeah, there's that and another one. There was two controversies that we want to touch on with the Olympics. One,
Team France.
well, just France in general. One, it's been gone over. It's been done to death. Poor old Reagan. I'm going to stand up and defend her here because, yes, it was bad. Sarah here watched it, and when she finished crying with laughter and could work a phone again, sent me a message, have you seen the breakdancing at the Olympics? And I said, there's breakdancing at the Olympics.
Breakdancing at the Olympics?
And then I said, no, I haven't. And then when I got home, I thought, it will be bad. We won't quite get the sort of nuances of the breakdancing, and it's not going to be traditional. It'll be some offshoot of it. No, it was worse. I don't know what it was.
It was camp, Dad.
It was a train wreck. hitting a dumpster fire on a shit heap. It was. I would have made a better fist of it, and that's saying something. And I'm no.
The first time I've watched the Olympics and I've said I could do that and genuinely believed it.
Yeah, well, anyone could do that. I used to do that after drinking too much and collapsing on the floor in a nightclub. It was awful. But here's the thing: when you go to the Olympics, you apply to be part of the Australian team or whatever country you're in. You apply to be part of the team. Now, let's say I wanted to be 1,500 metre swimmer for the Australian team. I have to go and qualify. Not only do I have to qualify to be the best 1,500 metre swimmer or one of our best 1,500 metre swimmers to join our team, I have to show I've met an Olympic standard. Like, you want to run in the 100 metres, you want to be part of the shot put or the discus or whatever. You've got to meet a standard. You've got to meet a bare minimum to get in there. You've got to have a coach who coaches you and you throw the javelin or whatever, and you've got to meet a bare minimum to meet the Olympic standards for that event so that you can be part of it. So that, otherwise you just have Bob from down the road running the marathon in 4 days, 7 hours and 32 minutes. You can't have that.
Isn't that what we really want to see, Dad?
We do want to see that. But so someone coached this poor girl. She had a coach who said that you got a gold medal winning performance there. And someone from the Olympic Committee looked at it and went, rock on, you can represent our country doing that.
This is the best female breakdance we have in the country.
This is... Jesus wept.
I mean,
it was...
We're not known for our breakdancing in Australia, but my goodness
goodness gracious me, it was a sight to behold. And the poor girl, there have been some parodies. The best one I've seen was on a rear windshield wiper where it's just had a picture of the poor girl as the windshield wiper looked like her little flop that she was doing on the ground. But this is on the Australian team itself for saying you are ready to go, my old son. That is a performance to do.
She scored 0 points. I think I would have got more points by getting up there and just doing the nut push. Then everyone would have, at least Australia would have respected me.
I would have got more. I would have got more points stumbling across the stage trying to find the bar. It was what? It was really awful. But
bless her.
That was it. But then the French, before the Olympics even started, the French population, God bless their little garlic-eating cotton socks, they inspired me. Sometimes you hear a lot of criticisms about the French, but they inspired me again. The president there, Emmanuel Macron, and the mayor of Paris, all said, we're going to go out, we want to clean up the town, and we want to make it for all all the people coming in, the millions and millions watching around the world, and all the tourists and so on coming in. We want Paris to be a showcase. Of course you do. And the Seine River that runs through Paris is a bit like the Yarra here. It's a bit muddy and dirty, and they wanted to clean it up, and a bit of garbage in it and so on, so they wanted to clean it up. And they said, right, we're going to go out, we're going to clean this river up, we're going to prove our cleanliness, and they spent untold amounts of money
billions of dollars to clean up
cleaning this river up, hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever it was, cleaning this river up. And they said and all the French people go, no, it's still disgusting. And Emmanuel Macron and the mayor said, no, we've done such a good job that on Monday morning or whenever it was, we're going to go down there, we're going to swim in that river to prove to you all that we have the courage of our conviction, and it's all good. Now, someone, I wish I'd looked this up properly.
Can I just say something? Make fun of the French all you want. You got to give them credit where credit's due. They know how to do any sort of rebellion.
They know how to take the piss.
They know how to rebel against the government in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter what it is. Just the French just hate the government. They're just going to rebel against them.
There are many ways you can rebel, and you've seen in the past, especially in some European cities, they throw flares and overturn cars and light buildings on fire and rampage through the streets. No, not these French people. The most passive-aggressive protest they ever did to prove that the Seine wasn't clean. They said, after Emmanuel Macron said, right, me and the mayor are going down tomorrow, we're going to swim in the river and we're going to prove it's clean. They said, let's all go down to the river tonight and take a shit in it.
And defecate.
We're going to go down and shit in the river before they swim in it. That is,
I just want to imagine, you're on your honeymoon. you're on your 20-year anniversary.
you're in the city of love.
The city of love, city of romance.
You've gone for a moonlit walk across maybe a bridge over a river.
Or you're doing the kayak. No, what's it called? The rowboat. The romantic rowboat
Right.
down the Seine River.
Yeah, you're going for a romantic little cruise down the river, just in the boat, the
You
darling,
You look
glass
to
of
see
wine.
the view of the beautiful city of
You're
love.
looking for the moon. And what moon do you see? You see a string of moons overhanging the river, squeezing one out. I mean, for fuck's sake. That almost makes you an honorary Australian to do something that petty and that silly and that childish. Seriously.
Well, yeah, they were. Apparently, the Seine hasn't been swimmable for over a century. And,
Lovely.
And it took until Paris was going to host the Olympics for the rest of the world for them to actually do something about the Seine, which is why the locals were highly perturbed about that. We're pretty upset going. So you care about the rest of the world. You don't care about the locals who actually live here, who've been living here for the last 100 years.
I mean, God bless the French. They are.
They're funny.
I mean, apparently, behind the scenes, like the accommodation, there was no air conditioning because they went eco and they put some other crap in there. And most other teams brought their own air conditioners, so that defeated the entire purpose of trying to be green when everyone was just rushing. If you put one very economical air conditioner in to service the building, it would have been a lot greener than having all the teams go, God damn, it's hot here in Paris in summer, we're bringing our own air conditioners in. The beds sucked, unless you were one of the
Continuous.
Chinese diving people, very slim, very petite, very tiny. If you were a Bulgarian weightlifter, you were not fitting on the cardboard, I'm going to say that again, cardboard beds that they provided for economic reasons. They wanted to be green and friendly and so on. And they were we all brought in mattresses.
This is what I don't understand. You're bringing Olympians in because they are the best athletes in the world.
The best of the best.
They're about to compete for their country on like the biggest athletic stage in the world, and
to give you a good night's sleep.
You want them to be
We're going
in
to give you a
peak
cardboard bed.
peak physicality, and you're giving them a cardboard box to sleep on. But it's different for different countries. The countries that can't afford to put their athletes in other hotels.
Well, they weren't supposed to be going to other hotels. It was supposed to be the Olympic Village, and that was supposed to be part of it. You all live in the Olympic Village.
Because LeBron James is going to be you'll find LeBron James sleeping on a cardboard box.
Well, no, if the Olympic Village had been like normal beds, for LeBron James, 6'6" or whatever he is, he's going to want at least a queen-size bed to himself, if not bigger. He's a big boy. Imagine Shaquille O'Neal turning up with cardboard what? They took one. The American basketball team looked at the village and went no, and they went and stayed at a luxury hotel, with all their team and all their entourage, the trainers and whatnot.
Does the American basketball team have the money to do that because it's American basketball?
The surfers and all those had one better because they weren't in Paris. They were in, was it Tahiti? I think. I can't remember. They're offshore somewhere in Tahiti, and they were offshore because they were staying on a cruise ship. They had individual rooms and chefs and meals, and they were sending the greatest videos back to all their teammates who were competing in other events. Just going, this is great. How's your cardboard bed going, son?
Sending messages to the triathlon people that just swim in the river.
Yeah, have a nice swim. So yeah, God bless the French. They really do know how to fuck things up quite well.
But what about the Paralympics? Do they have to sleep in cardboard boxes as well? Because it'd be even worse for them.
Oh,
depending on what disability they have,
I shudder to think. I haven't heard any controversies coming out of that. Maybe they've rectified. They'll word it up. That maybe between the Olympics and the Paralympics, you might want to fix things up because that would be a massive controversy.
A lot of them have medical mattresses for their certain disability.
Yeah, for certain
if
conditions
they've got
they
a
have.
physical disability, they might have like a medical
And that's
chiropractor mattress or something like that.
that's just smoke you don't want.
Yeah.
In the last video, I did ask everybody if you've got anything you want us to suggest, to look at, to
You
critique.
want us to suggest.
Yes,
I suggest you guys.
we suggest something. If you've got anything that you want us to review, you want us to talk about anything, and we were staggered. The response was amazing.
Overwhelming.
It was overwhelming. We got a massive amount in. From an L. Aldens. She wants to know if there's any advice that I can give as a Gen Xer raising
Millennium.
a Gen Z, you.
What she was talking about.
But no, she's saying any advice from a Gen Xer about raising, you know, kids, Gen Zs and so on. My first question to that is, why do you want to know about parental advice? Is there something you need to tell us? That could even be a bigger surprise in a week's time. Anyway, no, there is the difference in parenting styles from my parents' generation to my generation. Yeah, there are a lot of differences because, you know, technology was different, times are different, and so on and so forth. And when I was young and when my parents were young, you're allowed to just, you got a clip at school. If you were bad at school, you got a whack. There was no mucking around there. Now, you know, you go be on a register for doing that sort of thing. There's a lot of
Hasn't stopped you.
no. There's a lot of differences and a lot of similarities. But one thing is technology. Nowadays, you've got, you know, the access to just so many more books. You've got the internet. You got all this sort of stuff, but at 3 a.m. when the kid won't stop crying, and you've tried everything, you've tried changing, you've tried comforting, you've tried feeding, you've tried dummies, you've tried everything on earth, and they're still screaming, you're winging it. That's why everyone talks about the firstborn being, oh, the most pampered and spoiled child. There's a reason they had the most photographs taken of them. There's a reason they're the most pampered, because we're pretty lucky to still be around. We're winging it. They're crash test dummies for the rest of the kids you have. They go through it first, and we find out on them what works and what doesn't work. Sorry about that. That's why she's turned out the way she has. It was, yeah, right. I'm going to find out what that is later, and there's possibly going to be a murder. No, but at 3 a.m, books don't help. Videos don't help. Phone calls to your parents don't help because they won't answer at 3 a.m. The phone's ringing up. They'll just be laughing at you. Put up with what we put up with. But yeah, no, the parenting is parenting. No matter what generation, the technology is different. The availability of information is different. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's down to you. At 3 a.m, you've got to wing it.
There's a debate as to whether, because obviously millennials are the latest parents, and just like the
May God help us all.
and the eldest Gen Zs are also like the new parent generation. Yeah, there's a debate as to whether or not parents are getting lazier due to technology and like, you know, just giving your kid an iPad.
The electronic babysitter, yeah, we called it that with the TV. You put the TV on, plonk the kid in front of it, the electronic babysitter. You still do that, and that's out of desperation for a bit of quiet time where you're not cleaning up after them, changing them, feeding them, trying to stop them sticking forks into electrical sockets, or in your case, pulling the whiskers out of the dog. That was fun. Yeah, it is same but different parenting styles,
But I feel, because like, I remember when we were growing up, you and Mum would just put on like a DVD, and then that was what we would
go into the other room and drink heavily.
But like, all we could do was watch movies, whereas now, there's an issue becoming like, especially with people like Andrew Tate from a couple of years ago and stuff like that.
Twat.
There's an issue of like parents not raising their kids and just letting the internet raise their kids. So now you've got like
not monitoring
now
what they're
you've got
looking
like
at.
10-year-olds who know who Andrew Tate are and don't understand like how extremist like
Yeah.
these views are, and are exposed to extremist ideas, and parents not like educating their kids and sitting down and having these talks to them and
They've got-
asking
yeah.
them what they're watching.
They've got so much access to it that
Yeah.
that is becoming normal. But then they've been saying that forever with like violence on TV and in movies and that. Oh, you're becoming desensitised to it. All the studies show that they say, oh, there's too much violence in online gaming and in video games and so on. Every single study that anyone's ever done into it proves that's garbage.
I
It's,
never understood that, because like nowadays it's all like, don't let your kids watch violent video games because they'll become desensitized to violence. Flashback to like 100 years ago where you could go to a public lynching.
yeah, you go
But-
back to the
but
French Revolution.
we
You should have seen the video
we were
games they had in
so-
the French Revolution.
We were so sensitized to violence back then.
Oh yeah.
Public execution, you know.
Yeah, beheadings. That was Elizabeth I. She played some extremely violent video games. That's why she executed her sister.
Inspired by her dad.
Yeah, but Henry VIII. Oh, the stuff he was watching online. My goodness gracious me. It's just nonsense. It's got to do with parenting. It's got to do with social circles. It's got to do with a lot of factors, and none of them have been proven to be video games or anything like that. Every single study done has said that video games have got minimal, if nothing, to do with it. So, I do love some of the people in the internet that push absolute batshit crazy stuff. Not that they believe in it,
Yeah.
they just want you to believe in it. Like the people that say, oh, when the new iPhones were coming out, they say, oh, did you know you can fast charge them in the microwave? Or many years ago, someone wrote a downloadable app for your iPad that turned it into a set of scales. So people were downloading that, putting it on the ground, standing on them. If you're silly enough to believe that, most people that put this garbage out on the internet, they don't believe it. They just want to see how many people they control and get to believe it and have a chuckle at them.
Let's say we were like primary school age now.
Right.
What would your boundaries be on like monitoring screen activity and screen time and that? What would your parent rules be any different now than they were like in the 2000s?
Well, yeah, it's just now it's just so much more easy to access just nonsense, and you can't differentiate between reality and nonsense on the internet because it's all put out as, it's like a good scam is always put out as the genuine article. That's what these things do. They put it out as the genuine article and you believe it, especially when you're young and impressionable. So maybe we would sit down with you more and educate you more on these people are going to lie to you. This is garbage, but also encourage you to investigate, search things up for yourself. Most stuff you see and think, oh, is that real? You just quickly Google it and you can find that it's a scam and everyone else is reporting all these same scams and that.
Because like I'm trying to say is when we were growing up, like the only time we had access to the internet was like through ICT, and then we had an iPad, but it was the family iPad, so you could see what we looked up.
Well, I couldn't because I'm not technologically advanced enough to work an iPad.
In theory, you could look up what we were looking up.
In theory I could, but it took me over an hour to set this camera up tonight, so...
Whereas nowadays, like, primary school kids will have their own
Oh,
iPad and stuff, and so it's a lot harder to monitor. So I'm wondering how you would go about, like, personal devices to, like, primary school kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, imagine an 8-year-old.
you can put restrictions on them, but kids know how to get around them. Whatever you put on them, whatever you do, kids can get around them. It's better to sit down with them, let them browse what they want to browse, and point out stuff to them that's not right.
Just educate them.
Yeah, educate them on it. We used to have stuff called Net Nanny, and you used to put it on, and it was to stop kids searching up pornography. But the people who made those sort of videos on the internet just found ways around it by just putting different words in the search that allowed you to access them in the search engine, because that's all it was. It was a restriction on the search engine, stopping them popping up. There's so many ways around it now.
I feel it's the same thing, like with just like drug education and sex education, all that. You can't stop them from being exposed to all of it. You just gotta educate themselves by the time they are exposed to it. They know, like, this isn't like a brand new thing that they've got to navigate on this by themselves. They have an idea.
We grew up in an era, like I grew up, especially in the 80s and so on, when we had, in America, and we got a lot of influence from America because they had all the drug problems first, and then they didn't want them, so they sent all the drug problems here. And we had people like Nancy Reagan, whose whole campaign about anti-drugs was just say no. I mean, bless, she was a lovely lady, but no, that's not how that works. That was basically the education. Well, they're bad, don't do them. And that was it. We wouldn't talk about them. We would have in-depth discussion about teen pregnancy or anything
I
like
went
that.
to
Just don't do
Catholic
it.
school. What do you think I got taught?
Oh, don't start.
This wasn't my year level. This was the year 9s that year. So the kids 2
Oh,
years
yeah,
above me.
I know what you're talking about here.
Our school made the headlines numerous times. One was for a
They're proud of this.
one was for a teacher who loved his students a bit too much.
He was... How do we word this?
We can't say it on the internet.
We can say he
He loved his kids.
he got a... Let's just say he got a little too close to his children. Allegedly. Allegedly.
No, it was convicted.
I'm still saying allegedly. I'm trying to own this
we're
house.
not naming him, so...
Allegedly.
But that was one time our school in the news. Another time was when Pokemon Go driver.
Pokemon
There was
Go
a guy
came
that
out
crashed into our school and crashed into the fence because he was playing Pokemon Go while driving.
whilst driving past the school.
He's
He's got to get that last Charizard
Squirtle.
or whatever it was, and he slammed into the
building.
school. That was.
Luckily, it wasn't like it was a Saturday, so there's no kids in the building.
That was just
No,
funny.
we're off track.
This is the controversy. Sarah came out and told me, and I thought when I heard about this that she was talking about her year level, and you were being told to do this,
Yeah.
and I was getting
So-
pitchforks and burning torches and going to go down there.
So I was in year 7 in 2016. So, oh my god, that was...
Don't say so long ago, or you're going to get beaten with a stick,
What?
70s style.
It was
So long
it was
ago.
8 years ago now.
Oh my god! It was so...
But yeah, so like, still modern times, right? It's
Oh.
not in the
Modern
not in the
times?
1900s when you...
No. Explain to me when modern times weren't. When weren't modern times? Give me a time frame here.
I'm not gonna...
Anything before that was
I'm
non-modern.
not answering this question.
How far back are we going? The 90s?
I'm not answering this
The 80s? Be careful here.
Anyway,
Jesus wept.
so yeah, when I was in year 7, the year 9s that year, we had a PE theory textbook for our school. It had our school name on it, it had the branding, everything. Siri, go away. I'm not talking.
It did. It's the only
Because I
time
pressed-
Siri...
no,
it's,
because I
oh,
pressed the
I was going to say,
button.
that's the only time Siri's ever done anything I fucking asked.
The year 9s that year, they had their PE textbooks as well, and they got told to come into the hall one afternoon. They weren't told why, they were just told to bring their textbooks with them. And they walked in, the teacher shut the doors behind them, and there was a page in the book, a very scandalous page, that said that there are other sexualities aside from heterosexuality.
This book obviously wasn't written by a Catholic school sort of
It had our
administration.
school branding on the page
They would have just said,
from a company.
Yeah, that would have said, can you just put our school branding on it?
It said there's such things as homosexuality and bisexuality, and there's transgender people in the world that are
Goodness gracious. Chicken Little,
Someone alert,
get a helmet because the sky is falling.
Someone alert the church. And basically what they were told by our principal...
Don't alert the church about sex.
What
Dear
they were
God.
told by our principal is they were not allowed to leave the room until they ripped the page out of the book. Mind you, this is in 2016, like...
Because it doesn't exist, right?
And they were told they weren't allowed to leave until they ripped the page out. So
That's the best way to deal with something that you don't want to teach the kids about. Pretend it doesn't exist.
make a big deal about
Put your head in the sand, pretend it doesn't exist, but make a huge deal about it, but it doesn't exist. If anyone my age can remember, there was a movie called Naked Gun, a spoof movie about police dramas, and it had Leslie Nielsen, and a very, very funny actor. And there's one scene in that movie where he's standing there going, "All right, people, there's nothing here to see. Please go home." Please. And behind him is a fireworks factory that's on fire, and all the fireworks and flares and rockets are all going off behind him. He goes, "There's nothing here to see. Please go home." That's how this school handled this.
Yeah.
Kids, it doesn't matter what era, what age you are, they're curious. And they should be. They should be curious. They should want to look into it. And with the accessibility of the internet, with these things that they've all got...
And with these things, what do you think they did when they were little?
Oh, yeah.
They just text their parents going, "Sorry, Mum, I'm going to be late. They won't let me leave because I won't rip out a page because it's got gay sex in it." So then, obviously,
Some parents turned
the
up.
parents started rocking up to the school office and started blasting the school on Facebook saying, "Wow, I guess Catholic schools haven't changed since the 80s. They're still homophobic.
1880s they're talking about here.
Still homophobic and all this stuff," and the school got slammed for it. Do you know what their reasoning ended up being?
Oh, I heard it was a misunderstanding and a miscommunication was one of the versions of events.
They said sexuality wasn't something they should have taught in a PE class. They were going to teach it. They should have taught it in an RE class. Which, if that's the case, just say that. Just get the PE teacher to say, "Oh, by the way, you're going to be learning about this in RE instead of PE." That's all you have to say. Why did you make a big hoo-ha about it? Like,
yeah, it sounds like an ass covering event.
yeah. Like, it's not an excuse. If that was the case, why'd make a big deal?
Oh, look, they did have their faults with doing that sort of stuff, and there's been a couple of other things that I haven't agreed with that I won't get into here, but I haven't agreed with a couple of things, and I've voiced my opinion. But I have to give credit where credit's due. When I was growing up, we were at school. We weren't taught how to fill out a resume or
No, we were waiting.
no, but you were taught about interest, and you were taught about
That was only in my elective class.
credit cards, and you did have a lot better education and that sort of thing than we did.
It's because I went to year 12.
Children, what you need to
I
ask
don't know
yourself
why you're
here.
blaming me about your own,
No.
your own
I'm
decisions.
having a go at you about your sarcastic attitude, young lady. What you need to ask yourself is this. They say that raising a child to the age of 18, or in your case 21, because you won't piss off, is hundreds of thousands of dollars. What you've got to ask yourself is that a gift or a loan? Also, her 21st is coming up shortly. I'm making a speech. It's going to be good. So be nice, because I'm not going to be.
Oh, you want to tell them what we did for Father's Day? You were threatening. You know, I'm writing your speech, right? So be careful.
Oh yes, Father's Day has come and gone.
Australian Father's Day is
Australia,
in September.
Yeah,
I think the rest of the world's in like July or something.
probably. But yeah, we had Father's Day, and I was scared.
Blindfolded.
I was scared because it was a case of, "Hey Dee, come here." So the other half of the dynamic duo here, Dancing Danny, who is our esteemed editor and K-pop enthusiast and expert, said, called her in, "Oh look, we've got, this is what I want to do," and sniggering and laughing, and "Yeah, we'll definitely do that."
I got Mum's approval.
And that
Said
scared
that she didn't
me
want to do it.
more.
And she said she didn't want to
Oh,
do
yeah,
it.
I'm not going to do it, but you can take the old fella here. You can go, and then I had to sign a waiver. So I was horrified.
We wouldn't let you see what the waiver was. Just
No, they wouldn't
sign here.
Sign that. Don't look at the waiver.
Sign saying you've read it, but
In
don't
the
actually
end,
read it.
it was actually a really good thing. We went to a virtual reality place. There's a go-kart centre that's also got laser tag and
Le Mans in
gaming thing. Yeah, Le Mans in Dandenong. It was really good. They've got outdoor go-karts, several tracks for the
Laser tag.
younger kids and the older ones, and
Laser tag, paintball.
the whole bit. Really, really good. But they've got this section. It's just a basically big empty room. Pardon me. And you put on obviously the VR headset, and you've got the gun that's controlling it, linked to the headset. And yeah, we played a game called Far Cry, which any video game enthusiasts out there played a Far Cry game, and it was excellent. Like you were really immersed in the actual sort of cartoonish world of Far Cry, shooting zombies and bad guys and so on. So it was excellent. It was really, really well done. We're definitely going to go back. There's 4 different scenarios. There's the Far Cry. There's one called Outbreak, and there's a couple of others. I'd even go back and do the Far Cry one again. It was that good. So yeah, it was. Luckily, I got out of that quite well in my advancing age. They was kind to me. I think maybe through fear of the birthday party, because we've got a dual 18th, 21st coming up. Because Dancing Danny
Turns 18 on
turns
Tuesday.
18
On Tuesday.
on Tuesday. Dear Lord, only a few days away. It's Sunday now, as we're recording this. I don't know when I'll post. Hopefully, I'll post this tomorrow night. So yeah, on Tuesday, she's an adult. Dear God, she's an adult. Christ on a bicycle. Yeah, so that's what's been going on in our life. Has anything else been going on in our life that's notable or noteworthy? Today I was at the shops with the wife. We've gone in to buy a couple of presents because the wife's going away, and we're also going away. We were going to be doing a video from the Northern Territory.
See you in
Not the
tea.
next one. Not the next one. Can we get away with that? Because I will screw
Just
that.
an acronym.
No, I will screw that up and say it.
See you next Thursday.
Yeah, we have an ad campaign here in Australia. See you in the NT, and basically
Put it together.
the letters together. I won't say it here in case I do get blacklisted, by or hunted down by my mother-in-law and shot. She does scare me. Yeah, no, we're probably might not be the next video, but the one after that, we're going up to the Northern Territory. We're flying up for a week. We've got a wedding to go to. Yes, so we're going up for a bit of...
Shout out Journey Unknown.
Shout out to Journey Unknown, whose wedding we're going to up there. We're name dropping here. We're a fledgling little organisation, this one, and we're name dropping the bigwigs, the OGs here we've got like, how many followers we got? Like 10. Come on, people. Give us a like, give us a shout out, give us a click the button things and the bells and that.
Smash that like button. Hit that bell.
Ha ha! Dude, if you can't do it, I'm screwed.
Smash that like button. Punch that subscribe button. I don't know the rest.
We are embarrassing here, but we're going up Northern Territory, and then next year, so way off now, we're going overseas. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to make some more intelligent, exciting videos than this on the go, travelling about. Yeah, so do we have anything else? Do we have anything else at all going on in our lives? Apart from the fence falling down and the insane winds we've had here in Melbourne, and me having to prop it up at 5 AM with a treadmill.
Not that I can think of.
No. Alright, well, again, send us messages. Miss L. Aldens, we've hopefully answered your question. And
Not L. Aldens for long.
no, not L. Aldens for long, but you also raised an interesting question that we posed to you. Is there a reason why you asked that question? Is there something we need to know?
I read the comment. She also said that we do indeed need to do a public Dunny review series that you mentioned last time.
No, we don't.
Yeah, see,
See,
100%.
For
No.
if we do have any overseas viewers, a dunny is a toilet,
We did,
a shithouse, as we call it.
We presented the question to the public and 100% said...
No, that's just one, not
and
our
that
100.
was 100%
That
of
wasn't
our
100. No,
responses.
we had.
No. We had one comment and one person
Yeah, but
said,
it wasn't 100% of the people
That's
that watched.
100%!
Not of the people that
the
watched.
people that commented. People that voiced their opinion.
Listen, all the other people in Journey Unknown, jump on, drown this nonsense out. Everybody jump on, drown this nonsense out. We don't need to be
Think of all
avoiding.
the airports we're going to. We can do a toilet review in all of them.
Do you want... Who here wants to see me reviewing a toilet?
You're not still going on camera.
No, I fucking will. If anyone says you got to review a toilet, I will go in. I will push one out. Oh, Lord. On camera. No, I'm not. No, I won't, because people here will go, yes, go and do it. Because I know what the internet's like. If you've got anything at all, not toilets, don't tell us toilets. We don't listen to her. We don't want toilets. Anything else at all, even K-pop. We'll review K-pop. Is that way we can get Dancing Danny on? K-pop, yes.
The newest Megan /XRM video. We'll review that.
Yes.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
No.
Danny would.
Right. Well, maybe that'll get Danny on here so the public can see Danny. We've seen the cat. Now we've got to see Danny. All right. Until next time, we've been The Generation Gap.